What up? What up? What up? It's your boy. It's the coach. And as normal, this is the Emerald Circle Live, same day, same time. And this is not motivation, ladies and gentlemen. This is here to install structure, right? This is a signal room. If you don't know what a signal room is, you're going to find out today. So, welcome. Today, we don't talk about money, right? Monetization. And I had to, while prepping for the lesson and the live today, I had to take some notes. So, I wanted to make sure I touch upon everything and hopefully pique some interest, and also knowing what I know on both sides. I know from my LB community, we've been really trying to hone in to this for 2026. Recently, in the beginning, we really honed into this. And for my people in, up in the metaverse Web3 world, I know this comes up a lot, and it's a lot of great individual players out there, right? And they do a lot of a lot. They give a lot of value. I can't lie. Like if it wasn't for these particular players, and if you know what I'm talking about, um, prime example, Laban. They give tons of value. Shaq, she gives tons of value. Wolf, Vape. It's tons of communities out there that's giving value, but I want to speak about a couple things that really will make you think about the value that you're giving. Even with us creators, we give a ton of value, but we have to really start analyzing what we're giving, right? What's up, Cam? I already know what it is. Appreciate you. I'm sorry for your loss. You already know what it is too. There you go. There you go. I see you, bro. Welcome. My main man, DA, Dondi. I appreciate you, bro. So let's get to it, man. Y'all might, like I said, y'all might understand where I'm coming from, right? So let's get to it. So the big idea is we're here to fix the money system, right? I'm not here to give you hype motivation. We're here to fix each one of us. You're welcome. Each one of us, some way, some fashion, we're looking to generate money from our creative value, right? So this isn't a talking about how we want to start grinding harder or manifesting huge checks. This about this is about fixing the machine that makes money show up consistently, right? Because that's what it truly is. It is machine. It's a system. So if you have a piece of paper or something to write with, please be prepared. I'm gonna try to talk slow, so maybe you might catch a nugget of something you might want to go and throw in the chat GPT or whatever AI you use. But let's get started, man. Monetization, the way I look at it, it's a system, right? It's not a talent. We all have talents, right? And we could all do things very well, whether it's giving tips to play certain games, helping each other, progressing our own brands and our own business. But talent won't create money, right? It's not a system. So you got to think about this and just look at your own business or a business that you see someone building, right? If money feels random, the structure is broken. So if you might sell a book or make a sale or map asset, one week, then it's another 3 weeks or maybe 3 months later, and you make another sale, right? That system is broken. It's broken because it's random sales. To generate money and monetize your true value, there needs to be a system in place, right? So hopefully this is starting to make sense in your business. I can't really say starting, but we just started, but it makes sense, right? Um, if we're making sales staggered, and they're just staggered. It's something wrong with what we have in place or what's not in place, the lack of being in place that's broken with a system that we know of or we don't know of. The fact is, there's our structure is broken, right? So tonight is about rebuilding that structure, even if we don't even know that we need a structure, right? But tonight is truly about thinking of ways of rebuilding your money structure. And this is a truth, right? So if your income feels unstable, your system is unstable. If your income feels unstable, just coming here once a month, once every year, you might make a sale every, 3 months, your system is unstable too. So if that's the case, let's think about for a second, what system do you have in place to run your value creation and to make sure that you get paid for that value? What system do you have in place? Is it completed? Are you working on it like I am? Because I could honestly say some of these lessons, most of these lessons that I'm coming up with and these signals is because I'm going through that process now, right? So I'm not only going to speak on stuff that I'm not doing, I'm going to speak on stuff that I'm currently doing and that's working for me and I can see a change. All right. So think about if your money creation system is stable or not. So let's talk about a conflict, right? Why do most people burn out? Why do most people burn out? That's that's a very opinionated um question. We're going to try to make light of it and try to figure it out for ourselves, right? So people create value all day but don't get rewarded for it. We create value. We come up with ideas. We build stuff every day. We have tons of files and folders, Rolodex full of folders, Notion books full of folders, Google Docs full of value and creation that we made. But have you gotten rewarded from it as of yet? Stuff that we made over a year ago. Have you received one red cent from that creation that you made in the past? That's what we're talking about, right? So most creators are exhausted because we give, and nothing comes back. That's not noble. That's a broken design. When is it enough to say enough? I'm not saying don't help anyone, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not saying don't give out free value, but we have to draw a line in the sand. It's exhausting because it's not reciprocated back, right? So, why helping more people doesn't always make me making more money? Just because we're helping more people for free, think about how many people we have helped in the past 5 years. Let's say 2 to 5 years, right? How many of those people actually bought a product from you? I'm not saying no one has never done it, but if you had a system in place, do you think it would have been a higher percentage? How value leak, right? The value we allow our value to leak when we don't have a capture system, right? Um, and again, I could only share with what I'm doing. My voice a little bit better, by the way. But oh, what we won. We got our first dub 101, but I'm able to talk a little bit better, but it's still not all the way there. But what I'm doing now with my system, and my LB family know, because we are creating it together, we've been creating it together, that my first capture, even though it's free, I'm introducing people to the coach. And that's in my community membership site. I don't ask for no money. I just ask you to join with your email and to sign up. Now that's a I'm start capturing some of that free value that I'm giving, right? And exposing y'all to what I might have in the future. We're all going through it now in LB. It's amazing because it's non-intrusive, right? It's no pressure. It's when you feel you're ready, you make that decision. So that's a switch or a little tweak that I made in my system, in my value capture system. And I know, from my group, we're doing this. And if you're not doing this, and if you're not, and you're watching this on a recording, and you're not in LB, you're in my, Upland family, I'm sharing this so you can take these nuggets and do your own research. Again, I'm not here to teach you, I'm here to give you a signal. Maybe you've been needing to hear this, all right? Because we all give tons and tons of value in Upland, and it's good. I've been it for 4 going on 5 years, so I get it. But I feel like me being a creator, and I love creating, I'm giving more value than I'm receiving. We all want to be paid our worth, right? So am I going to stop giving value? No, but it's going to be layers to it. And the highest layer is my NFT owners, the sea heads. They have my attention because they helped me build this system when I had nothing. So I am building layers as I go. All right. So burnout is usually a money problem in disguise. Think about that right there. Burnout, burnout is usually a money problem in disguise. Why would we be burnt out in the first place? Because our mind is keep twisting and running and trying to find the next new marketing strategy, the next viral picture to create, you know, and it's usually because we need more money. I'm gonna let that sit a little bit and sip, like my man Donnie say, let that sit and sip, Jones. We don't let that nugget sit, and I'm gonna take a sip. All right. Here's the truth: if value goes out, but nothing comes back, the system will eventually collapse. There's no way around it. If you are constantly giving value and it's leaving, 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 and nothing is coming back, a few things will happen. Your system will collapse. What up, Wolf? That's one of my C heads right there. He helps me run my fantasy basketball league. Salute, bro. Um, co-commish, and he got his own little situation going on, man. I'm proud of him, man. But salute, bro. But yeah, think about that. If we continue as creators, as helpers, as teachers, constantly, got you, constantly giving value and nothing comes back, that system will eventually collapse. It's not supported by anything. I mean, my people know there's subscriptions that we gotta keep up to do what we do. It's not free. Even if I want to take off this StreamYard logo that I purposely kept on here, because I want people to know I'm not paying for this right yet, and show you how I'm gonna grow in the future, because it's eventually gonna come off, right? Or I'm gonna use something else to get that off, and to just to have my brand on there, it costs money. So if we're constantly giving, man, man, I ain't even go into my LB fam though, how many subscriptions out there, but to constantly keep giving, 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 and not receiving monetary value back for the value we give, the lights will eventually turn off. So we'll get to the meat and potatoes of this. Hopefully, y'all, we only, damn, wow, it seems like it was longer than that. Um, it's been 15 minutes. Hopefully, you get some nuggets. I'm getting through this information, but I'm hopefully y'all, y'all with me, y'all rocking with me. If y'all gotta leave, I get it. If you watching on the replay, let's go. But I'm feeling this, man, because I see where how giving too much can sabotage our business. You know, it gotta be a thin line, right? So let's get to the fair exchange, where fair exchange wins. So the big idea here is money should match the value we deliver, right? Whatever value we we give, whatever that paying patron gives us, it has to match, right? So when the reward doesn't match the work, resentment grows. When it does not match, I'm sorry, when it does match, when value does match, people stay in the game longer, right? So think about why undercharging kills long-term growth. Undercharging your value kills your long-term growth because at that moment, if you keep doing it, people won't respect your value because you don't respect your value. We're not here to, well, I'm not here. I don't know what your reason of generating money, if you want to hit the masses or you're trying to hit your tribe, right? But resentment will grow. I've seen it. I've seen it over the last 4 years. I've seen it where if the value that someone pays for something doesn't match, um, that trust is lost, right? And I'm being transparent, right? So I'm trying to build that trust back with my NFT project, right? Because when I started, I had these ideas of what I could do um, in this Web3 game, and never did it before. We go in things head first rather. But it really took me some time to really understand this community. Understandable, yeah. So it took me time to learn the community. It took me time to maneuver in the community and see what the community likes to do and what it's about, right? So on top of that, it took time for the Web3 game to grow, right? And I can honestly say for my NFT holders that's rocking with me. What's up, Lightning? That's another one of my NFT holders. Another great creator on the YouTube side. So, like Lightning that's been rocking with me, he's seen my growth. Now, we all looking for ways to better ourselves. And that's when we have to stop shortchanging our value in what we create, right? So three things. Again, I got back to undercharging kills your long-term growth, and fair exchange builds trust instead of breaking it, right? So when your product, whatever it may be, when a person spends money with you and they full heartedly believe that it's a fair exchange for the amount of money they paid with you and what they receive back, that is what builds trust. These one-offs, hurry up and get the money grab. The community reads that, right? Um, they could tell when you're your authentic self. Like even now, again, I'm trying to become. I ain't gonna say I'm trying to become, but I'm trying to be my authentic self with doing these lives. Y'all know me. So I don't want to be too scripted. I want to have some notes, but I want to give it from my perspective because I've been through some of this stuff and I'm currently going through it and trying to navigate through some of this stuff too. And over time, if y'all rock with me and y'all stay around, y'all will see how week by week, if we all just take something, how we can mold our systems the way we want to be, right? Because doing something beats doing nothing. That's just how it is. Doing something to help your business beats doing nothing to try to tweak it. All right. So, another truth with the fair exchange wins is healthy systems reward contribution at the right level. I'm gonna read that again, right? Healthy systems reward contribution at the right level. So when you get to that right level, that system will reward you. And the person that's taking part of that fair exchange understands this concept, right? Those are the people that I'm trying to attract to me. And I would advise you to really reflect on what type of people you want to be attracted to you. So I see Dondi. Dondi said, I'm just looking for people, for my peoples. I'm not for the mass consumption. Yes, you're looking for your tribe. Lightning, he's saying, yeah, it's something I am learning. And me and Lightning talk in the DMs all the time. And yeah, it's something that I tell him. We all learning, right? It's just being around the right people to learn with. So let me go ahead and take that out. So let's go ahead and try to get to a point where we can get our business in a slight shift or think in a different way so we can shift from what we're doing to shift to where we want to go, right? So the key to that is stop selling. Stop trying to sell whatever it is you're selling, right? That's going to be a byproduct of you designing. Start designing the system you want your selling process to be, right? What's up, dog? That's another one. You see they showing up. I got my LB family and my C head holders and man, I can't ask for more. But listen, stop selling what it is you selling. Start designing. Selling is hard when the setup is wrong, right? So if we're out here just selling what it is we're trying to sell and we don't even know how the setup is set up, it's wrong from the jump, right? How many people just started going out there just blasting social media? Hey, buy this, buy that, buy this, and we never realize why we don't get consistent sales. Our setup is wrong, right? So if you're always convincing people, you built the wrong environment. Strong systems don't beg, they just make sense. I'm going to read that again. You're always convincing people, you built the wrong environment. Strong systems don't beg, they make sense. LB, think about where we at, what we're in. It just makes sense. You understand what I'm saying? It just when it's time. Me and you, Dondi, we talked about it, right? When it's time, it makes sense to go to that next room, right? So to my Web3 people, I'm gonna stop separating y'all. I'm just telling y'all, man. I'm gonna stop separating. I'm just gonna say my people. I'm gonna work on that going through it, right? But I want to make sure y'all know I'm talking to you as well. We don't know when it is the right time. There's tons of sales. FOMO happens. I'm a part of it, but do we know if it's truly the right time? Maybe from Upland, because their system is in place. But for us as creators, creating NFTs of our brands, of our personal brands in this game, do people truly know why they're buying it? I'm trying my best to do it myself, right? Or is it the community is just buying it because they're popular or they know them or they giving free value? Or I could be wrong because I'm not everywhere. Is it because they have a system in place? Only y'all know because I don't see everywhere. But that's a rhetorical question. Is it because it's a system in place? Or what if you put a system in place for your brand building in Web3? Would it speed up your process of earning money? All right. So the difference between selling products and building ecosystems. Um, yeah, it's a difference. Even this, the Emerald Circle Live is part of my ecosystem. I'm giving the signal. I'm giving you something to go back and do your own research on. But it's still part of my system, right? Because over time I'm getting known to do this, right? Um, my other part of my system is Monday through Friday, I'm sending a signal to lead up to this live, right? Um, and I'm finding my rhythm. And once I get that part of my system done, I might throw something else out there, right? So start designing, start designing your value system, right? And think about why does good systems reduce pressure to pursue? Like think about, let me see, for my Web3 and for my LB family, the LB system. Y'all can relate to that because we all been through that. And for my Web3 family, think about the system. And I'm not talking about the learning curve, right? But when you came in, think about the system. And even now, the onboarding system that Upland has coming into their gaming, right? And even with the announcement of uppies and the bunkers of that uppie getting sold, one uppie, one of one getting sold, and that's digital residence for $1,400. In less than 2 days. Like that's crazy. But they're going to add that on to the onboarding for non-members of Upland in the future. So they're building out systems. Like look how Upland is doing. Like I always told you, if we had this conversation, yeah, we might go an hour today. Yeah, we might go an hour today. But I always told you I was that little fish under the shark's belly, right? Because I always had to wait to see what Upland was putting in place to uh to expand my system. It's crazy that everything happens at this time. But what I can say is if you're looking to always expand your system, eventually when it's time, opportunity will present itself. So yeah. So the truth for this process or particular segment is stop selling, start designing, but design the game right. If you design the game right, the selling feels natural. Web3, how much money have you spent in the last 30 days? I'm just saying, I know how much money I spent in the last 30 days in Upland, and it just felt natural because we're building to the future, right? And again, we already touched about this, LB. It just feels natural to progress when it's time. So look at those factors and ask yourself this question. Does your value system just feel natural? Mine's didn't. So that's why I'm working on it. So I'm just being honest with myself, right? So let's start to kill the money fear, right? In order to kill the money fear is you gotta the fear around charging poisons the system, right? It's nothing wrong with charging for your value. And those who still here, man, thank you for rocking out. Because like I said, I think I'm gonna go a little long, but it's nothing wrong with charging for your value. It's not. Um, Now you gotta make sure that what you charge is equal to the value that you give, right? And that's where you have to be real with yourself and your skill set and what you're giving, right? So you might not always know the answer. Reach out to your closest people that understands. Don't just reach out to someone that don't even know the business or know what you're doing. Like they can't comprehend if they're not trying to earn, um, if they're not a creative and they're not creating anything, how can they give you an opinion on something that they never even created or they never created something, right? So make sure you get around the right people. Make sure you ask um, opinions of people that's going to give you constructive criticism um, and nothing personal, but real. You know how you could deal with information given back to you. You know what I'm saying? But you know who's in your circle. If you don't have types of people, find them. We're here. All right. So if you're scared to charge, the system will keep you small. That's ruining your future. So a lot of people, I was even scared to charge because I thought, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a good enough reason. I guess I wasn't scared to charge, not everything, but creating the system and yeah, I was. I was scared to charge to show people. How can I say this? Not selling my NFTs, but I was scared to charge the knowledge of me creating what I did in Web3, right? Because from what I see, I was possibly the only person Web3 game that went out and had um, individuals in Upland purchase an NFT and created their map asset from their NFT in the game. So it's 42 of them, 37 of them. Their NFT that they purchased, I created it in the game, and it's 34 of them of each one, right? So yeah, you're right. I'm reading this. I'm sorry. I might need some help move forward, but nah, I'm playing. I was scared to charge. Let's see what my sis said. I was scared to charge when I didn't know everything about the business and system. I agree. We all are, and that's why we here, right? And we get around people that's doing what we want to do, or maybe around people that snap you out of what we was snapped in. Like, sis, you have value. You a fool not to do it. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes we don't have the right people around us, or maybe they know and they just don't say nothing, right? And that's what people need to understand. Like as creators, anyone, man, you see somebody out there that's doing good, yo, man, just shout them out. You only got to do it publicly. We put so much into what we do that sometimes we get in our own head, right? So um yeah, you got to make sure we're not scared to charge our value. So why asking for payment isn't selfish. It's not selfish. I spoke about it earlier that we have bills. We start businesses and start our value giving process paying subscriptions, right? And that could only take you so far. So just to keep on the lights, you have to charge your value so you could keep up and you can scale. So don't look at it as being selfish. It's a even value transaction, right? So, and it's not all about just doing ads of getting people to notice you because it's been said that ad-based models quietly destroys trust. Um, I haven't personally witnessed that. What I can say is with my network, and hence one of the reasons that I have this live every Sunday is we've talked about how getting in front of people live like this builds trust. It builds your personal brand. It builds community. It helps people see like they're not the only one going through what I'm going through. Because I'm not here telling you. I told you from the beginning, my first episode, I don't have it all figured out. I'm trying to figure it out, but I'm gonna figure it out like I'm seeing my mentors do in front of me that's not in Web3. I'm going to figure it out in front of you, and we're going to figure it out together if you're willing to do that. But I'm not going to chase you. I mean, if you've known me over a year or two, you know I'm not going to chase you. Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? Because you get burnt out. You really get burnt out. So it has to be something there. Yeah, it does build connections. It really does. So let's think about this for a second, right? If you don't build respect, if you don't respect your value, the market won't either. That's deep. That's deep. It's only up from here. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But again, did you hear what I just said? If you don't respect your value, the market won't either. And we're not talking about these people that's just here to get free assets, free value and dip. We're talking about your tribe that's really looking to do what we're trying to do. We got to differentiate these numbers, right? It's not about how many numbers you have. We're coming from a hotbed that just recently, crossed 50K, subscribers. But we came in at the tail end, right? We wasn't there at the beginning like Dondi was, and it took years. So don't get caught up on these numbers. Get caught up on those who's really extracting value and growing with you. I'm seeing it, man, because even my community, both of my communities are showing up now in the chat, and I appreciate that, right? And and that's what keeps me going, right? It's not because they purchased anything, it's because they've been here and I've been watching and they stayed and they're encouraging. So hopefully they are and we all are learning together. And hopefully I'll inspire y'all to do something that y'all was supposed to do and didn't do yet. I ain't gonna say no names, but yeah, sis. Let's get to it. So turn it on, right? We don't turn it on. Monetization only works when you execute. So it only works if we put the system in place. No worries, bro. No worries. So your money system only works from going stagnant is when you turn it on. When are you gonna turn it on? When are you gonna turn it on? Right? So this is where the theory stops. Pipes open, revenue flowing. No more excuses. Look at what you have to offer. Stop selling yourself short. Nah, I ain't gonna do it. I won't do that. They know. They know. By me just saying that, they know. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but um, why clarity creates momentum, right? So I don't. I'm not with momentum. I'm not. I've seen how momentum fizzles out. So I've been really, and I found my group, my tribe, because I really want to provide clarity of what I'm doing with my overall brand. It's just not me and LB. It's not just in Web3. It's me leaving a legacy to my children. Um, it's me figuring out how I could take back control for my life. I see that. I want to be able to. I believe my creativity is bigger than a 9 to 5, right? And if we could create systems where we're not necessarily needed to run it, that creates time freedom. I'm tasting it now a little bit by implementing what I did with this live series, right? So I create my messages Sunday, schedule them out Monday through Friday. Now that portion of this is done for the week, and I just got to show up here. That's less than that took me what? If we go an hour, an hour and 15 minutes that it took me to set that up and run compared to working 40 hours a week systems. So turn it on. I'm just turning it on. I'm learning how it works. It's not fine tuned. I'm gonna come back every week and give you a lesson because I'm gonna fine tune it. I hope you come back and find something that you could take and help fine tune yours. That's my goal. That's my free. I'm not gonna tell you how to do it. That's gonna cost. You see my system? I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to boom it because if you really want more, you'll understand the value um, exchange, right? And you should be able to look at your system and what you're building and create the same thing step by step. All right. So this is where I did that. So clarity creates momentum. Small systems changes unlocks income. Small changes in a nutshell. I know what that means. In a nutshell, a small change, even the system that I put up, if I do this consistently every week over a year, that small change will create momentum and create more income. It's just human nature because I'm going to get better. I'm going to learn more. I'm going to start implementing more stuff. I'm going to have more things to talk about. I might have more proof. Being consistently looking how to fine tune your system is where it is. All right. I don't know what system or what product you have. That's for you to find out, right? All I'm saying is look at your money value system, what you have in place. And if you're not making money consistently and it's stagnant, something the fuck is wrong because something the fuck was wrong with mine. I'm just being real. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, when it feels like what it says, when it feels like money, one second. So, with this one, I want you to like kind of like re-engineer, re-engineer how it feels like when you're consistently getting money, right? Let's say you're consistently making $5,000 a week, right? And visualize how that feels, right? That's $5,000 extra a week. However, this is the hard part. Re-engineer how that system looks that got you that $5,000. Write down some notes and start working on that, right? Last thing before I go, I do have a add-on toolkit that gives you extra steps that you can implement to work on this. If you're a member of my free membership, it was auto posted at 7:45 p.m. I know Sis is already in there looking. It is there. If you're not in my free membership group, look in the description below. Check it out. Check it out. And it's free to get in there, man. I haven't put the tiers in up yet. I don't know when I'm going to do that. I'm really focused on building this out right here in my system here, possibly for the first quarter, right? Until I get a better understanding and a better understanding, some feedback with everybody that I'm close with. But if you didn't get one thing, if you didn't get more than one thing, hopefully the one thing that you got today is stop giving your shit away for free all the damn time. You create shit. I create great shit. If you're not making a sale at least every other day, and it's something wrong with the system or the lack of putting a value structured system together. And until we do that, it won't get any better. So my challenge to you is to truly look at your product, your brand, and be honest with yourself. What's missing? With that being said, it's your boy. Thank you for staying out. I'm ending now because I don't want to go to the hour. It's 45 minutes. It's still under the 60 minutes, but I appreciate each and every one. Catch me at the same time, same place. Subscribe, like, share. See you next Sunday. Emerald Circle Live. Peace.